When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do meaningful work every day. You get to be the biker who codes as fast as he rides, crafting advanced tech solutions that transform car buying. Or a guitarist who develops harmonious apps and websites, connecting people to people and businesses, all in real time. A savvy soccer mom running solution sets as passionately as she runs gameplays. Be the super secret keeper, designing cybersecurity systems to protect private data and websites. A planet protector, expanding EV battery life and inventing more ways to build a better future for all. When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do career-defining work that solves the greatest problems of our time. Join us and connect to work that improves lives, including yours. Learn more about our family of businesses at cox.career/tech.
Oh, sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to report.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver Common Sense Show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver Common Sense Show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's easy. There's 3 places you can go. You can go to shrmedia.com. You can go to YouTube. You can go to Facebook. And on those last 2, if you just search for SHR Media, you will find it. Either which way, don't forget to hit subscribe and like. While you're there, join the chat rooms. Comment. Speak up. Let your voice be heard. How's everybody doing? Let's see, it's Thursday. Thursday means it's BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon after the Reaver. Oop. I see the volumes are doing good. That's a good thing after that debacle yesterday. I don't change shit, and all of a sudden, the settings get wonky. Drives me up a friggin' wall. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Boo! Boo-hoo. How you doing, Jenna? Glad to have you here. All right, let's see. California is just going full-on communist, socialist nut jobs 101. The city of Stockton, California is planning to offer a basic income grant of $500 per month for poor residents, making it the first time U.S. city to provide a guaranteed income. Now, does that mean besides welfare? Is that welfare? I mean, what the heck? Mayor Michael Tubbs announced the program on Wednesday. According to Capital Public Radio, this is not a handout, it's a hand up. Oh my God, these fucking sayings. Oh my God. Drives me up a wall. Oh. Drives me up a wall, it does. It's not a handout, it's a hand up. Here's a hand up. Oh, I mean, that's a finger up for you. He reportedly said the program is to be privately funded by the Economic Security Project, which Capital Public Radio describes as a network of researchers, elected leaders, and organizer, which is run by Facebook co-founder and Barack Obama campaign veteran Chris Hughes. Stockton declared bankruptcy in 2012 as a result of a high pension cost, economic stagnation, and a 12-year spending binge. Though the city and its finances have recovered somewhat, and the city's emerged from bankruptcy in 2015, poverty remains a problem. The idea of a guaranteed basic income has been gaining traction lately, largely thanks to the advocacy of Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg, who has suggested it may become necessary in the future as technologically innovations pushes more people out of traditional jobs. We should explore ideas like universal basic income to make sure everyone has a cushion to try new ideas, Zuckerberg said in May at a commemoration ceremony at Harvard University. I love these paper ideas. Ooh, this is a good idea on paper. Well, let's do it. Ooh. Yeah, they're going to fall flat on their face. They're going to be running to the federal government. Help! Everybody else is going to have to pay. Everybody else. In a Facebook post in July, Zuckerberg... Condensation built up real quick. Most hotel workers are. He touted Alaska's Permanent Fund, which pays dividends to residents every year from a portion of oil and gas revenue, as an example of a successful basic income grant. That's not a basic income grant. The residents are getting paid by the oil and gas companies for drilling and pumping on Alaskan lands. That's capitalism. That's not a handout. That's not a handout. That's not a basic income grant. That is, people are being paid to be allowed to work on their land. Jackasses. Oh my God. How they twist this shit to try to fit their narrative. And then they leave out several important pieces of that facts about it, and they leave it out. They don't tell you about it, and they just go on their merry way. Now, very few states have Alaska's vast resource and low population. Others in Silicon Valley have also advocated for the idea. The Stockton pilot project will reportedly involve 25 to 75 families. Yeah, that's real fucking small. All right, I also have to see if I can find this article. Let me see something. Well, I have the article. I think I want to download the video that goes with it and play it. All right. Where is it? Give me 1 second to look for this. Jumping around.
When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do meaningful work every day. You get to be the biker who codes as fast as he rides, crafting advanced tech solutions that transform car buying, or a guitarist who develops harmonious apps and websites, connecting people to people and businesses, all in real time. A savvy soccer mom running solution sets as passionately as she runs gameplays. Be the super secret keeper, designing cybersecurity systems to protect private data and websites. A planet protector, expanding EV battery life and inventing more ways to build a better future for all. When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do career-defining work that solves the greatest problems of our time. Join us and connect to work that improves lives, including yours. Learn more about our family of businesses at cox.career/tech.
Everybody jump, jump. Crisscross will make you jump, jump. Come on. Why is this room getting so hot today? All right, I don't want 17. Today's the 19th, so we go to the 19th. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. because this is very important to this conversation. One of the congresswomen here from Florida, the embarrassment of my state, jumped all over Trump and is trying to start shit where there isn't. And she shouldn't have been eavesdropping on a private phone call like that. And it's absolutely disgusting. There's that. All right. I got to see if I can find it downloadable. It's... Again, they're trying to twist information in statements to fit their agenda and trying to use a death of a soldier for political purposes, which I find absolutely disgusting. Hopefully I can just find a small tidbit. Just want to find the video of just that small little clip. Maybe not. All right. We're going to play this and I'll probably go into the first commercial. I'll just play the whole thing for everybody. I'm going to play John Kelly's press conference from today. And I think this whole thing has to deal with the whole issue of what this congresswoman's trying to do. And I love at the end how he throws in a little fact about something she did one time. There was a lot of people that thought it was offensive, and they didn't go running to the press because they didn't want to politicize it. This woman is just trying to politicize, trying to damage Trump, trying to make herself look better, and it's just making the Democrat, in my opinion, make them look more childish, more disgusting, more vile, and makes me go further away from them. Come on. All right. There it is. All right. So this is going to be
is done.
Forgot to shut that off. John Kelly giving a press conference. I think it was today.
So I just wanted to perhaps make more of a statement and an explanation, give more of an explanation than what amounts to be a traditional press interaction. Most Americans don't know what happens when we lose one of our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, or Coast Guardsmen in combat. So let me tell you what happens. Their buddies wrap them up in whatever passes as a shroud, puts them on a helicopter as a routine, and sends them home. Their first stop along the way is when they're packed in ice, typically at the airhead, and then they're flown to usually Europe, where they're then packed in ice again and flown to Dover Air Force Base, where Dover takes care of the remains, embalms them, meticulously dresses them in their uniform with the medals that they've earned, the emblems of their service, and then puts them on another airplane linked up with a casualty officer escort that takes them home. A very, very good movie to watch if you haven't ever seen it is Taking Chance, where this is done in a movie HBO setting. Chance Phelps was killed under my command right next to me. And it's worth seeing that if you've never seen it. So that's the process. While that's happening, a casualty officer typically goes to the home very early in the morning and waits for the first lights to come on. And then he knocks on the door. Typically the mom and dad will answer, wife. And if there is a wife, this is happening in 2 different places. If the parents are divorced, 3 different places. And the casualty officer proceeds to break the heart of a family member and stays with that family until, for a long, long time, even after the internment. So that's what happens. Who are these young men and women? They are the best 1% this country produces. Most of you, as Americans, don't know them. Many of you don't know anyone who knows any one of them. But they are the very best this country produces. And they volunteer to protect our country when there's nothing in our country anymore that seems to suggest that self-service to the nation is not only appropriate but required. But that's all right. Who writes letters to the families? Typically the company commander, in my case as a Marine, the company commander, battalion commander, regimental commander, division commander, Secretary of Defense, typically the service chief, Commandant of the Marine Corps, and the President typically writes a letter. Typically the only phone calls the family receives are the most important phone calls they can imagine, and that is from their buddies. In my case, hours after my son was killed, his friends were calling us from Afghanistan, telling us what a great guy he was. Those are the only phone calls that really matter. And yeah, the letters count to a degree, but there's not much that really can take the edge off what a family member is going through. So some presidents have elected to call. All presidents, I believe, have elected to send letters. If you elect to call a family like this, it is about the most difficult thing you could imagine. There's no perfect way to make that phone call. When I took this job and talked to President Trump about how to do it, my first recommendation was he not do it. Because it's not the phone call that parents, family members are looking forward to. It's nice to do, in my opinion, in any event. He asked me about previous presidents, and I said I can tell you that President Obama, who was my commander-in-chief when I was on active duty, did not call my family. That was not a criticism. That was just to simply say, I don't believe President Obama called. That's not a negative thing. I don't believe President Bush called in all cases. I don't believe any president, particularly when the casualty rates are very, very high, that presidents call. But I believe they're all right. So when I gave that explanation to our president 3 days ago, he elected to make phone calls in the case of the 4 young men who we lost in Niger at the earlier part of this month. But then he said, how do you make these calls? If you're not in the family, if you've never worn the uniform, if you've never been in combat, you can't even imagine how to make that call. I think he very bravely does make those calls. The call in question that he made yesterday, or day before yesterday now, were to 4 family members, the 4 fallen. And remember, there's an next of kin designated by the individual. If he's married, that's typically the spouse. If he's not married, that's typically the parents, unless the parents are divorced. And then he selects one of them. If he didn't get along with his parents, he'll select a sibling. But the point is, the phone call is made to the next of kin only if the next of kin agrees to take the phone call. Sometimes they don't. So a pre-call is made. The President of the United States or the Commandant of the Marine Corps or someone would like to call. Will you accept the call? And typically they all accept the call. So he called 4 people the other day and expressed his condolences in the best way that he could. And he said to me, what do I say? I said to him, sir, there's nothing you can do to lighten the burden on these families. But let me tell you what I tell them. And let me tell you what my best friend, Joe Dunford, told me, because he was my casualty officer. He said, Kel, he was doing exactly what he wanted to do when he was killed. He knew what he was getting into by joining that 1%. He knew what the possibilities were because we're at war. And when he died, in the 4 cases we're talking about in Niger, my son's case in Afghanistan. When he died, he was surrounded by the best men on this earth, his friends. That's what the president tried to say to 4 families the other day. I was stunned when I came to work yesterday morning and brokenhearted at what I saw a member of Congress doing. A member of Congress who listened in on a phone call from the President of the United States to a young wife, and in his way tried to express that opinion. He's a brave man, a fallen hero. He knew what he was getting himself into because he enlisted. There's no reason to enlist. He enlisted. And he was where he wanted to be, exactly where he wanted to be, with exactly the people he wanted to be with when his life was taken. That was the message. That was the message that was transmitted. It stuns me that a member of Congress would have listened in on that conversation. Absolutely stuns me. And I thought, at least that was sacred. You know, when I was a kid growing up, a lot of things were sacred in our country. Women were sacred and looked upon with great honor. That's obviously not the case anymore, as we see from recent cases. Life, the dignity of life, was sacred. That's gone. Religion, that seems to be gone as well. Gold Star families, I think that left in the convention over the summer. But I just thought the selfless devotion that brings a man or woman to die on the battlefield, I just thought that that might be sacred. And when I listened to this woman and what she was saying and what she was doing on TV, the only thing I could do to collect my thoughts was to go and walk among the finest men and women on this earth. And you can always find them because they're in Arlington National Cemetery. Went over there for an hour and a half. Walked among the stones, some of whom I put there because they were doing what I told them to do when they were killed. I'll end with this. In October, April rather, of 2015, I was still on active duty, and I went to the dedication of the new FBI field office in Miami. And it was dedicated to 2 men who were killed in a firefight in Miami against drug traffickers in 1986. A guy named Grogan in Duke. Grogan almost retired, 53 years old. Duke, I think less than a year on the job. Anyways, they got in a gunfight and they were killed. 3 other FBI agents were there, were wounded, now retired. So we go down, Jim Comey did an absolutely brilliant memorial speech to those fallen men and to all of the men and women of the FBI who serve our country so well and law enforcement so well. There were family members there. Some of the children that were there were only 3 or 4 years old when their dads were killed on that street in Miami-Dade. 3 of the men that survived the fight were there and gave a rendition of how brave those men were and how they gave their lives. And a congresswoman stood up, and in the long tradition of empty barrels making the most noise, stood up there and all of that and talked about how she was instrumental in getting the funding for that building and how she took care of her constituents because she got the money, and she just called up President Obama, and on that phone call he gave the money, the $20 million to build the building. And she sat down and we were stunned that she'd done it, even for someone that is that empty a barrel. We were stunned. But you know, none of us went to the press and criticized. None of us stood up and were appalled. We just said, okay, fine. So I still hope, as you write your stories, and I appeal to America, that let's not let this maybe lost thing that's held sacred in our society, a young man, young woman going out and giving his or her life for our country. Let's try to somehow keep that sacred. But it eroded a great deal yesterday by the selfish behavior of a member of Congress. So I'm willing to take a question or two on this topic. But let me ask you this. Is anyone here a Gold Star parent or sibling? Does anyone here know a Gold Star parent or sibling? Okay, you get the question.
Thank you, General Kelly. First of all, you have a great deal of respect, Semper Fi, for everything that you've ever done. But if we could take this a bit further, why were they in Niger? What was, we were told they weren't in armored vehicles, and there was...
They get into a bunch of questions then. But for the sole purpose of what's going on, this congresswoman tried to politicize a president calling, give his condolences. I know many people that all say they signed up, they know what the dangers were. In fact, why? A lot of them sign up because of the danger, because of it. To give one's life for the country is the ultimate sacrifice. Now, I'm not saying they have a death wish, but this congresswoman is typical Democrat trying to politicize a tragedy, and it's their MO anymore, and it's all they do. And I'm so tired of it. It's sickening. It's repulsive. Whether it was a Democrat, Republican, a goddamn fucking Martian that did this, it is sick. And I hope the citizens of Florida in that district make sure she doesn't get reelected to pull this shit again. She's the perfect example of, look at me, look at me, look at me. She don't give a shit about any of us. All she cares about is getting fucking elected. It's appalling. It's disgusting. We should not be politicizing these deaths like that. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media in High Plains. The Lone Star Radio. And we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver Common Sense Show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. You didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
And welcome back to the Reaver Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of this senseless. Oh. Sorry, that just pissed me off. The shit that they're pulling with that, it's... What the And then they go, we're not politicizing this. This is no, it isn't. You politicize almost everything to try to get an advantage. And the people are paying attention, you dumbasses. That's the funny part. And we're going to get into the gun control tonight, too, because Chuck Schumer is now fucking running from gun control and telling his guys to back off. Sorry, I also got the Flyers game in this third period, minute 6 left. They're down by 1. One of the guys took a stick to the mouth, and he was showing the other guy his mouth and tongue, and it was just funny. It's like, ew. I'm going to show you just how disgusting Democrats are. They scream this high standard. I mean, we've seen it with the women. The war on women. We're here for the women. War on women. Yeah, we're backing everybody that's raping, molesting them. Oh, we take money from them left, right, and center. We support them. We know what's going on. We're being quiet about the raping and the sexual harassment of the women. Oh, yeah, who cares? As long as we go out in front of the camera and say, oh, we're for you women. Bunch of crock of shit. We want women to get equal pay. We don't pay our women equal, but we want women to get equal pay. The Democrat Party is so full of shit. They could fertilize every farm for the rest of everybody's God-given life. I'm just... Oh. So the Democrats, the chief of staff to Representative Benny Thompson spends his days in the halls of Congress. Why do I bring this up? Because on the weekends, he's in jail for tax evasion. After the Mississippi Democrat violated his pledge to fire his wealthy chief, if the aide was found guilty of stifling the Treasury of $150,000. Isaac Advent made $170,000 a year in congressional pay, yet the court found he didn't pay any tax returns for 7 years. Prosecutors said he was dishonest throughout their investigation, and when he did file tax returns, he lied about donating $50,000 to a religious group and tried to take a bizarre tax write-off for rollerblading. Prosecutors asked for a 1-year prison term, but Advent was sentenced in January 2017 to a month-long stint in jail, followed by a year of weekends in jail. Isn't that nice? This guy got a year in jail on the weekends. Wasn't that nice of the judge that allowed this guy to go to work and not be punished? How fucking disgusting. Between 2008 and 2012, Advent didn't have any federal income tax withheld from his pay after a U.S. Department of Justice release raids. He caused a form to be filed with his employer that falsely claimed he was exempt from federal income tax. 8 months into his weekends in jails, a grand jury indicted him on new charges, claiming he paid his taxes in order to get a top-secret clearance when he was the top Democrat staffer on the Committee on Homeland Security. Thompson hasn't fired him because of that indictment either. The guy's been indicted again while being on double-secret top probation, weekends in jail, and he's indicted again. And this Democrat still allows him to serve. And as chief of staff, I'm sure he's seeing some top-secret stuff there. Thompson is a consistent advocate for high government spending paid for by taxes on the wealthy, saying in a press release this month, Republicans ensure the wealthy continue to thrive at the expense of others, and it seems like you continue to thrive at the expense of the taxpayers. He's charged, and if he's proven to be guilty, then obviously that would be the result. But I'm not going to fire him now because he hasn't had his day in court, Thompson said in August 2016 of the original tax evasion charges. A few months later, Advent pled guilty, yet Thompson quietly kept him on staff. Pay records showed Advent took a month off in March, presumably while he was in prison. In September 2015, after the IRS began garnishing his wages for failure to pay taxes, the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation gave Advent an award for exemplary leadership. An award Advent trotted out at sentencing, and trying to show Advent's good characters, his lawyer said he had volunteered for a charity 20 years ago. Thompson is the ranking Democrat on Committee on Homeland Security, and Advent served as both the committee's Democrat staff director and his personal chief of staff. He stopped working for the committee 2 weeks after he was sentenced, but retains his job as chief of staff. Oh my God. Advent said on the background check application for Homeland Security job in 2013 that he had filed his taxes, when in fact he had not. Well, That's Advent answered his work phone Wednesday and told the Daily Caller News Foundation there was no need to elaborate on the situation. A representative for Thompson did not return a request for comment on the man charged with running his office. Advent's cavalier attitude towards his legal duty to file and pay taxes, which extended from 2005 to the time he was interviewed by federal agents in 2015, is astonishing, prosecutors wrote. The extremely limited written statement Advent submitted to the U.S. Probation Officer as to his acceptance of responsibility is further evidence of his disconcerting view of the seriousness of his tax fraud. Advent told the judge he didn't pay taxes because he couldn't afford rent on his apartment. Other staffers in Thompson's office made less than a quarter of Advent's $170,000 a year salary. The chief of staff for a member of Congress who oversees a staff of 19 to 22 congressional office employees and handles payroll issues claimed he didn't know he had to file with the IRS, prosecutors wrote. These statements defy credibility. And if he actually thinks this, and he's a chief of staff, holy. Whew. I wonder why the Democrats are so fucked up. They said he filed a bizarre tax return falsely claiming he donated $26,000 in cash to Catholic charities plus $22,000 worth of goods, including an oil painting and a coin collection. Advent stated that he did not know why the $26,000 donation to the Catholic Church and the $22,000 in non-cash charitable contributions are on his tax return. Advent also took outlandish miscellaneous deduction for biking, chess, bass guitar, and rollerblading. Jesus Christ. Can I start writing off all my hobbies? The tax return Avon filed with these ridiculous deductions resulted in an itemized deduction amount that all but wiped out his adjusted gross income and resulted in a claim that the tax owed by Avon was just $119. One version of the draft tax return he prepared on April 15, 2008 had different deduction amounts for different items and resulted in a tax due of $636 despite no federal income tax withholdings. Apparently that amount was too high for Advent, and he revised it until it was even lower. Starting with the tax return due in April 2009 for taxes in 2008, Advent did not file a tax return at all until after he was interviewed by federal agents in 2015. This is astonishing. Advent earned about $170,000 a year in a position of public trust, and his salary was funded by federal tax funds. Yet he paid less than $450 in federal taxes in 2006 and 2007, and then neither paid any federal taxes nor filed a federal tax return for 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. And isn't it the Democrat Party? Isn't it the Democrat Party that screams and made a big push that Republicans and Donald Trump don't pay their fair share? Their own people don't pay their fair share. It's just a good slogan they know people will get behind. That's why. That's why they sit there and say it, because they know people will get behind it. They don't follow it. They don't pay their fair share either. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, I can't believe it. All right, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and Lone Star Radio, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver Common Sense Show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. It's hard. I'm going to cut in at Sean Hannity real quick and give you some audio. They're talking about the breaking news this week of the uranium one.
For Rosatom, which is the main nuclear arm of Russia, and Tenex. So they signed an agreement. They also did pro bono work for Hillary Clinton. But let me tell you this, they were very emphatic when they spoke to me today.
U.S. consulate firm with ties to the Clintons lobbied on behalf of Russian state-run nuclear corporation.
And they're lobbying on behalf of Russia.
We're going to believe them.
They were very emphatic about it. And I can tell you this, that one of the things that I want to stress here is that there is an informant, a former FBI informant, who's spoken through his attorney, and he is asking for a lift of his non-disclosure agreement with the FBI so that he can come out and talk.
Interesting.
And one of the things that he really wants, Sean, is for some kind of immunity, some ability to tell his story and put those connections together, make those,
so this
connect
is the guy
those
that
alleged
infiltrated
dots.
on behalf of the
all right, the gentleman that they're talking about, and I think we're going to talk about it later, so we'll get more later, but he is the one that went undercover. He was forced to sign an NDA. I mean, from what they're talking about, his life was threatened. Supposedly his attorney has proof of everything. He was forced to sign an NDA. He wanted to go to Congress and talk to Congress, and the Obama administration refused to.
If he wants to speak to Congress. So it may be a
now Congress
closed-door
wants
hearing.
to speak to him.
They may speak to him behind closed doors if it's classified.
All right,
but I
last
think
point.
he has the right to speak.
Renaissance Capital, John, and I only have 30 seconds here, paid him one of the highest speaking fees he ever got, Bill Clinton. Right. They have ties to the Kremlin. They were talking up Uranium One, and they got him to talk up Uranium One.
Well, he definitely went and spoke there, and they had a direct interest, like many of the people that donated to Bill Clinton during this time frame. And so, listen, the pattern is there. And I have some breaking news tonight. House Intelligence Committee, they just started looking at this today.
Wow, unbelievable. All right, guys,
what we need is a special prosecutor.
This is the real Russia collusion conspiracy and money kickbacks. It's disgusting. Laura Ingraham next as we continue, and I'll tell you why I am here in Vegas tonight.
And why I'm playing this Sean Hannity pieces, that's exactly that's the true Russia scandal that needs to be looked at, and none of these liberal media are touching it. They're protecting Hillary Clinton again. They're protecting Obama again, and they refuse to look at it. The same people that refused to report on the sexual abuse that was going in Hollywood are now protecting Hillary, Obama, that whole cast, because they put our nation in danger. This is the national security. Our officials were being bribed, kickbacks, extorted, and they sat back and they knew what was going on, and they still signed the deal. There was still collusion. There's where your true collusion is. There's where you're Russian. They talk about all this going on. Well, then why did Obama administration allow this to go on, knowing that there was bribery going on, extortion, kickbacks, and then Obama knew supposedly that they were hacking our election, and he sat back and did nothing. Why? Because they thought Hillary Clinton was going to win and everything would be swept under the carpet. This is scary as hell, people. This is more than just, okay, Russia bought 20% of our uranium. It's more than just that. It's the fact, the kickbacks that were taken to pay to play by the Clintons. How much more evidence do we need? And now I'm hearing Jeff Sessions announce today that the DOJ will be looking into this further. He has to. He has to look into this. He can no longer ignore this. I think Donald Trump had a soundbite today. See if I can find it. He went off on the media right in front of the media. That's not good. I'll say that tomorrow. Damn, I already got some articles for tomorrow. Oh, and the best, I jumped ahead because I meant to talk about it. This Congresswoman Wilson fired back and went after General John Kelly. Gold Star family member General John Kelly. She went back at him and attacked him. So can we start saying how she attacked a Gold Star family? That's what the Democrats do. You can't respond. You can't talk back. No. Oh, no. Come on. You would think I'd be able to find this all day. I got to somehow link all this together with ease. The first looks at the prototypes of Trump's walls are up. There is literally one with a solar panel still on it. That is on it. Dang, this is... Sorry about this. All right. Let's see if this is it. Hopefully they have the soundbite. Nope. Damn it. I heard it on the radio earlier today. Of course, Washington Post is running interference. So we'll tell you exactly what's going on with the... Hey, Dave, what's going on with the uranium run? It has nothing to do with any of that. It's an innocent... Fucking Hillary could stab somebody in the middle of Times Squares and Washington Post would cover it up. Damn, I'm shocked. Can't find. I can't find it. I sorry about that. I was trying to find. I saw it. I heard it today. Trump went back at him and called him out right in front of their faces. It was beautiful. He also went at him about the fake news and the Democrats trying to exploit Sergeant David Johnson's death. I mean, we heard. I played that clip of Chief of Staff General John Kelly. Oh, I know they'll tell us lies, Dave. I know, but it's just funny how they're, we'll tell you what's going on with the uranium one. You see, the payments that were given up, well, they were actually just donation. It had nothing to do. It was just a really bad timing that they gave it at the same time. They were trying to get this through, and at the same time, Hillary Clinton started pushing for uranium one. And it's just a coincidence that all this started going. It's a coincidence they got convicted, men got convicted of bribery that had to deal with this, but it has nothing to do with it. I mean, Jesus Christ, there was people convicted. There's people in jail. They're ready to start prosecuting this one, and the Obama administration silenced it. Why? Because it would have popped up and really hit big in 2016, and it would have hurt Hillary Clinton. Oh, we don't want that. Oh, no, we don't want that. So let's cover it up. Just throw a rug over it. Hillary Clinton, when you get in office, you can clean that up. Remember, the two biggest lies. What is it? Checks in your mouth and I won't come in your mail. But I'm pumped. You know, and CNN, they just keep digging in a hole. But I'm serious. They probably sat there, took that whole uranium one, threw it under the carpet, and just was like, hey, Hillary, since you're going to be the next Senate, you can go ahead and clean that mess up. Yeah, I'll clean up my own mess. Don't worry about it. And here comes Trump in. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's a big lump underneath the carpet. Hey. Well, actually, if you listen, I said, don't come in. The check's in the mouth and don't come in the mail. It's the blonde version. I'm appalled at this country anymore. I know it was corrupt and there was issues. And every time I think it's gone down, it's like the Democrats are sitting there going, listen, hold my beer here. We can get this even worse. Watch this. Wait till you hear the next story that's breaking. You're going to even be more amazed. Jesus Christ, people. I mean, really. Really. How much more are these people going to keep believing in the Democrat Party and all the bullshit they're pulling? How much more evidence has to hit them upside the fucking head oh, man. It's... Yeah, some people never disappoint in their ability to disappoint. But sometimes you think, okay, this is as low as it can go. I guess I'm being Charlie Brown right now. I think Lucy is going to finally hold the fucking ball for me. Nope, I'm flat on my back again. And I've been talking about this Uranium One deal somewhat for the past year or more. And I didn't realize just how deep it went. And then the wall, or the Hill, sorry, the wall, thehill.com. The Hill broke this story big. The Hill. I know Dave's going to understand that because The Hill is left-leaning. You know, how much more is it going to take before our government comes up and says, you know what, we can't keep covering your shit up, Clintons. You're done. You're done. We got to call bullshit on this one. This is why we need to turn our government over. We need all new government. And what I mean by that, all new politicians voted in. We started. We're working on it. We're proving with Trump being in there that we don't need career politicians to be in there. That doesn't mean we need to elect every Tom, Dick, and Harry that walks up. That it's, oh, Jesus. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and the Lone Star Radio. And we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver Common Sense Show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Don't forget, coming up top of the hour, approximately 53 minutes, will be BZ Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Remember, pull up a chair. The speech is free, but the drinks aren't. Remember to flush the toilet. Don't forget to put the rag in there first. Got to make a bathroom mess. You got to do it when you're in a bar. You got to throw that rag in there, flush the toilet, because BZ is also the janitor. All right, guys. Congressional probes. Congress probes, I should say. Whether Obama's DOJ used the Trump dossier before a surveillance court. Both the House and Senate are investigating whether the former President Barack Hussein Obama's administration used intelligence in a salacious Trump dossier as evidence before a secret federal surveillance court to obtain permission to spy on Donald Trump's campaign aides and later his transition team. That would be funny if they went to the FISA court with a fake dossier. And they knew it was a fake dossier. This investigation should be done with. Ended. Kaput. There is nothing there. We have Robert Mueller that heads it. Well, now it comes out he's part of the true Russian scandal. He was the head of the FBI, I believe, when that whole story got squashed. Not story, but the whole case got squashed for the Uranium One. Another big name that pops up with that is Rod Rosenstein. They should be running for the hills right now instead of trying to find some scrap of evidence, which they have not found shit yet. I mean, they've gone after Paul Manafort, they're going after everybody else, and they really haven't found anybody. A lot of threats, a lot of hoopla. But that's pretty much it. DOJ should be killing that special investigation and starting up a couple more. They can even put them into one investigation because guess what name keeps popping up? And two names keep popping up in all these scandals. Hillary and Obama. Obama and Hillary. The main name that keeps really popping up is Hillary time and time and time and time and time and time and time again. But her fallback excuse is, well, the Republicans have been after me for years. There's been that right-wing conspiracy to get me. Yeah. You would think after all these years, she would try to make it a little bit harder for him to start this shit up. Knowing that they're out there. Then again, she's never been held to the standards that me and you are held to. And that's what really pisses me off. I hate that. I hate that crap with a passion. I hate it with a passion. I hate when there's two standards, one for you, or one for them, and one for everybody else. No. I've always been held to a high standard. Yeah, I know, Dave. I know. She doesn't care. She thinks she's an elite. And so far, she has been. She's been protected. You know, they protect their own. But they want to sit there and roll their sleeves up and come into town and, Bob George, I'm just like one of you. Fuck you, you're not. You're nothing like any of us. That's why we need to start electing in officials that are. We broke away from Britain because we were tired of the elite, high class, those who did not know the common plight, ruling us. And what do we have now? A bunch of elite, snobbish assholes that don't know what the common plight is, ruling us. It is not career politicians. It is not lawyers. Anybody and everybody is supposed to be able to run. Anybody and everybody. But they've locked that up so much with rules, regulations, to try to block anybody else from stepping up. And we got to change that, people. We got to change that. Oh, hell yeah. I've been talking about that, Dave, big time. And Dave's comment is we got to stop listening to people like McConnell and elect conservatives despite parasites like him and his cronies. He wants for us to elect people that he can control, tell them what to do, and they'll do what he wants and what will be best for the padding of their pockets, not what's best for me and you. So, right now, I just saw it, Moore is up by like 11 points. It's looking good for him. So we need to elect people, even if it means keeping the same people, as long as they can beat Democrats. These people can't be beat. You're going back 20, 30 years ago to talk about this shit. People are tired of it. It's not that same time period, McConnell. It's not the same time period. I don't know. The goal is to win an election, but we need to put people in that are going to do their jobs and do it for the people. Not for the party, not for themselves, but for the people. We need people to actually do it and not just say it. Ow, that would hurt if he tried fucking himself with an electronic iron stick. That would hurt. I think it's worse if he fucked himself with a porcupine going backwards. Oh, where are we? Hey, I didn't think that would be cruel to animals. Yeah, you got a point there. Hollywood enables countless sex predators. Actually, I want to save this for after the break. I'm going to save this one for after the break. Because it's a whole bunch of gun stuff that Senate Republicans say not enough. Senate Republicans wrote to Mitch McConnell and said that having the Senate stay open on Friday and possibly the weekends is not good enough. Republican lawmakers urged Senate Majority Leader to turn the Senate on full-time, 24/7, to advance the president's agenda. 9 Republican senators sent a letter to Senator Majority Mitch McConnell after McConnell finally cracked under pressure from conservatives and populists alike and decided to extend the Senate's work week into Fridays and even possibly the weekend. The 9 Republican senators include Mike Rounds, Luther Strange, Joni Ernst, Ron Johnson, Steve Dines, David Perdue, Roger Wicker, Dean Heller, and John Kennedy. The Republican senators. Now you know, Dave. The Republican senators argued that Democrats' perversion of the Senate rules, which was designed to imperil President Donald Trump's agenda, makes the steps necessary to confirm nearly 200 judicial and executive nominees. Conservatives chastised the Senate's light work week would typically span from Monday evening to early Thursday afternoon. GOP sources said the Senate work schedule will start to mirror the average American. The Senate will now work on Fridays and possibly the weekends to complete their legislative priorities. It was reported that under Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, the Senate remains in session roughly 2.5 days per week. The Senate will move into its 11th month into its congressional term and has yet to pass an Obamacare repeal, a replacement package, pass tax reform, confirm judicial nominees, and fund a southern border wall. Last week, more than 100 national leaders urged Senate Republican leaders to use every means at their disposal to confirm more than 200 Yeah, I saw that too, and that had me chuckle. The Republican Senator John Kennedy. Last week, more than 100 national leaders urged Senate Republican leaders to use every means at their disposal to confirm more than 200 presidential nominations currently pending in the U.S. Senate, both for the executive branch and for federal court. And they want a raise. They need more money for their work, and they work 2.5 days. Yeah. Kiss my ass. Kiss my ass. I can't complain much. I mean, with the show, I just do, BZ, what's up, my brother? I just do, 2 hours show? That doesn't include all the prep time, everything else. Shit, does that mean I'm working harder than the senators? Damn, I gotta slow down. It's ridiculous, and it should be open. It doesn't matter when, where, what. The senators need to get off their ass and do their job. They want these vacations. Well, make sure your work is done before you go on vacation. Hell, that's what we have to do as American citizens. We just can't run off. We got to make sure our work is. Our work has to be done. I've had jobs. Well, you're not going anywhere unless you have that work done. Fuck you. All right, I got to ask that, BZ. Why did I get tagged in that? Why did I get tagged? How did I get tagged into all this? Last night, the Sackheads, Clint, Sean, and BZ put a photo together because they were staying after studio, after the show, and they were working on new promos and everything. And I got tagged in it. And I'm like, okay, how did I get involved in this? So BZ just came in and said, Joe, you were going to love what we did for you last night. I'm like, shit. I think it's a good thing. Oh, shit, cool. I appreciate it. I was just like, damn, what did I do? I wasn't busting on people. Because I know there was people that were busting on them about new promos. Or is it because I did that, you're listening to SHR Media little cut, so they had to do one. Yeah, I was just like, I didn't take it bad. Don't take it that way. I was just like, how did I get, what did I do? I'm always getting blamed. Hey, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and the Lone Star Radio. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver Common Sense Show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube. every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Hey, if you want to catch a live stream, oh, God, is it easy? So easy a liberal can do it. I mean, you can go to SHR Media, just click on the SHR TV button, or is it YouTube? One of those buttons up top. Or you can go to YouTube or Facebook and just search for SHR Media. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the subscribe or like button so you can stay up to date on all the freaking great shows. So many great shows. Money Talks with Melanie. Coming up next is BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. That's going to be in about 33 minutes, roughly. You know, it's pull up a chair, sit down, grab a drink, and just join the conversation. Any of our shows, you can jump in. You can talk directly with the host. They will talk with you. They may not type all the time, but they'll respond on air. They will. Trust me. We love the interaction. All of us love the interaction with listeners. The more, the merrier. And even if you don't agree, you know, I don't care. Come on in. Tell me I'm an asshole. Don't bother me. I love it. I guess that's why I don't have too many liberals attack me. I've had it, but for the most part, I just, whatever. It don't bother me, because if you're attacking me, I know I'm doing something right. So I just sit back and laugh. Yeah, grab a drink. I got it probably tomorrow night. It was short this week, so probably tomorrow on the way home, I'll stop. I'm going to get a nice bottle of rum. I don't know what I'm going to get yet. I'm a Captain Morgan's, but I'm thinking Sailor Jerry, I think, is the other one I like, but they're cheap. I want to get a nice rum. I have rum in my house, but I'm letting it age. And I can't exactly say how I came about it, but I'm letting it age right now. I'm letting it sit. And get a thing of sour mix. I like rum sours. That's my thing. So, do you want to have one way to trigger the Democrats? They're triggered right now. Democrat senators appeared surprised when Attorney General Jeff Sessions said he has never been interviewed in a special counsel Robert Mueller's Russian investigation. Well, it's now 4 months old. It's 4 months old, I think. Whatever. It was born in March. So whatever March to now, that's how old it is. I got a nice, like a brown hue to it. Oh, it's a nice looking dark rum. Tried a little bit. I used it with cooking. It's not bad. So it's... the longer it sits, the better it's been smelling. Because when I first got it, woo! Now it smells great. But, yeah, Jeff Sessions says he has not been interviewed by special counsel Robert Mueller. And that has Democrats in a tizzy. Sessions gave little to the Democrats who are trying to bring allegations of collusion and obstruction of justice, as Senator Richard Blumenthal put it, back into the public eye as the Russian story continues to slip into obscurity. Senator Patrick Lee, Democrat from Vermont, asked Sessions about the still floundering Russian probe by special counsel Robert Mueller, asking him, have you been interviewed or have you been requested to be interviewed by the special counsel, either in connection with Director Comey's firing, the Russian investigation, or your own connection with Russian officials? Sessions at first demurred, saying, you'll have to ask special counsel that. When Leary insisted, however, Sessions began to look more pleased and invited the question. Well, I'd be pleased to answer that, he told Leary, chuckling and smiling as he considered his response. I'm not sure I should say without clearing that with the special counsel. What do you think? Sessions added after a pause, appearing to egg Lee on in his line of questioning before finally answering no. Things got even more heated when Senator Blumenthal challenged Sessions' answer. After Sessions again tried to get Blumenthal to ask the special counsel office, Blumenthal tested Sessions' answer. The fact of the matter is he has contacted you. Isn't that the fact? Blumenthal asked pointedly. I'm not aware of it, was Sessions' answer. You're not aware that special counsel has contacted your office? Blumenthal continued in a suggestion strongly how he somehow knew such a request had in fact been made. How do you know who the special counsel is contacting? I'm a bit curious, Sessions asked in a reply. Increasingly agitated, Blumenthal tried again. I'm asking you the question, has your office been contacted or requested an interview with you by the special counsel? That's a yes or no question, he said. And the answer was, I don't think so, was all he can get from Sessions, who added, after another round of back and forth, I'm perfectly willing to answer the question to the special counsel in any way. After yet another exchange, Sessions told Blumenthal, well, you seem to know, so I don't want to come in here and be trapped if you know something I don't know. After the hearing, the Department of Justice spokesman categorically denied the Attorney General has been contacted for an interview by the special counsel's office, calling Blumenthal's claim simply not true. Surprising, Democrats are lying again. Oh my God, I've never seen that happen. And for those, I'm joking, they lie all the time. You know what I find funny? they sit there and they go at Trump saying he lies all the time. Wasn't it Obama, when he got in office, that started a lawsuit just to prove that he can lie if need be? Which the White House, or excuse me, the court system said he does have permission as president. But now they go after Trump because they don't want him doing what Obama did. Have you noticed that? They constantly go at Trump because they're trying to hide what Obama did. The shit with Trump calling that Gold Star wife. Because it came out Donald Trump didn't even call General John Kelly when his son got killed. So they got to divert that conversation because there was another negative coming out about Obama, and they had to cover that up, so they start this issue. Have you ever noticed when you go on and there's negative happening to the Democrats, they immediately got to run and try to bring up fake stories to go after the Republicans to distract from their own shortcomings? I'm sitting back laughing, and I'm sorry to change subjects. Reverend, I am a racial pimp. Al Sharpton is jumping in, and now he's all involved in the kneeling of the anthem. And we're not attacking the flag. We're not attacking the country. Even though that's exactly what Kaepernick said he was doing. And he calls kneeling courageous. But remember when Tim Tebow was kneeling and he was attacked by the left? They didn't say he was courageous. But it's just funny. They're still doubling down on it. They're going down. NFL's going down in fucking flames. Has anybody seen the pictures or been at a stadium lately? They're empty. They're like half empty. And if they want to go and bring up all these social issues, and they want to protest, why aren't they protesting the black-on-black crime? Why aren't they protesting that high murder rate? Why aren't they protesting the domestic violence? Why aren't they protesting the sexual assault in Hollywood? No. I don't see nobody marching in pussy hats over that. Only fake allegations and fake comments do they protest that. But actual sexual assault, rape, you don't hear a fucking thing out of them. You don't hear shit. Do you hear any of these assholes kneeling when a cop is murdered in cold blood? Yeah, they want social justice reform. They want social justice reform. Yeah, because how many of those assholes that are kneeling, these overpaid wannabe assholes, how many of them are convicted felons? That's why they wanted the justice system redone. Because they want to be able to break the fucking law as they see fit. Of course criminals want justice reform. Of course they don't want police being able to attack them. They want it easier for them to get away. I never seen a political group so hell-bent on protecting criminals. And they change the story every fucking couple of minutes on why they're kneeling. Nobody has explained exactly. Except for Kaepernick. Kaepernick's the only one that's actually had the balls and say this is why he's doing it. You know, I don't like the scumbag, but you know what? He has the balls to come out and say, this is why I'm doing it. I'm just so sick of this shit. And you know what? The NFL just is going down further. Look at the ratings. Look at the sales. I was listening to the radio. I do it every now and then. I'll pop it on. Listen, Rush is Rush. The main thing I don't like about Rush is he's always patting himself on the back of how small, how great he is, and yada, yada. And, I'm not saying that. That's what everybody else says. That pisses me off about him. But he thinks that it's going to calm down over the next couple weeks. It's going to disappear, and he thinks everybody's going to go right back to watching NFL. See, I don't think so. And yeah, they think by not airing the national anthem, that's going to stop. No, people know what's going on. Rush is Rush. You're not going to change the man. He's successful. I'm not going to bash him. He has some good points. He has some pros and cons. I'll say that. I'll listen to him every now and then, and mostly I do it to listen to Sean Hannity. I got to like Sean Hannity on the radio. And sometimes it's better than listening to the other radio stations. I think the NFL might be damaged for years. What happened is similar to NASCAR. NASCAR got so fucking big that it destroyed itself. And I think the NFL got so big they thought they were untouchable and could do anything they want. And they just destroyed themselves. And how are you going to tell me when 70% of the fucking league is black and the average salary is $2.5 million a year, and you're going to tell me you're oppressed? You get to go to college free. You get free housing, a lot of them do. But yes, you are oppressed. Hockey, same thing. Baseball, it took them years. But, it's... Even football had that strike recently. It didn't really hurt them that bad. I think it's going to hurt them. I don't think it's going to destroy, like they're going to fold, but I think it's going to back them up quite a few years. All right, I'm going to start my break a little bit early, a few seconds early, because I got to get to the gun control stuff. I took longer on that segment than I thought. So I'm going to rush through it the best I can, BZ, but I got 3 great articles that I want to go over. And with that, you're listening to the Reaver Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver Common Sense Show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello. I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. And you're right, BZ, you're right. They fear their employees more than they fear their consumer, which I don't understand. There is, for every one player in the NFL, there's 1,000 or more people waiting to take their spot. So if they lose even half their players, they can get 1,000 plus more for every single one waiting in line to take their spot. If they lose their consumer, it's not like they got consumers waiting in line to join the NFL. You lose your customer base, you're fucked. You lose your employees, you can replace your employees. That's the problem. You got a bunch of fucking lawyers running this shit nowadays. They don't have common sense. So I want to get to this gun control stuff, but I had a comment on that. And it's funny how in Hollywood, it's enabling countless sex predators, but it still wants to take guns away from both men and specifically women. How is it that the very same Hollywood that is by omission overflowing with sexual predators has just launched yet another gun control campaign meant to make more difficult for Americans, most especially women, to obtain the most effective weapon at stopping a sexual assault, a concealed firearm? How about they start doing sexual predator control campaigns? And that's why I don't understand. You got these bunch of elitists sticking their nose up at America when they're a bunch of fucking sexual predators. And if they're not the sexual predators, they've been helping them. And I'm going to get lambasted for this, but I've had several women agree with me. And so, you know what? The women in my life, I don't have to worry about. The women that got sexually assaulted, that shut up for 10 fucking years. They're not courageous. They're accomplices. They helped those sexual predators commit those crimes because they didn't stand up. Why didn't they stand up? Because they wanted those jobs as actresses. So they shut their mouth. They got sexually assaulted. They shut their mouth and they went on. And they allowed the next woman to come along and get sexually assaulted by being quiet. I know that's not going to be a popular thought. I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. I'm not sorry. That's my opinion. They allowed it. They've allowed it. And then they want to sit there and lecture me on how better opinion, and they're on this moral high ground as they're protecting or the sexual predators. They're either protecting the sexual predators or they are the sexual predators. I'm not worried if it comes back on me. And I guess you could say I pulled that comment. I talked to my mom, my sister, and some other females I know, and they all agree on that. They agree that these women, they protected their predator. And why did they do it? Because they wanted those big-time jobs. Instead of standing up and say, that asshole just grabbed me. And he said, if I keep my mouth shut, I can have this role. But then they want to stand up there on this high moral ground and lecture me. Fuck you. You're no better than me. Let me tell you, if you had that gun strapped to you, he might think about touching you. He might think twice about trying to rape you. Because something's going to go off in that, and it may not be his dick. It may be that gun that goes off. And everybody knew this shit was going on. I've heard of it. I'm on the East Coast. I have nothing to do with Hollywood, and I heard about all this shit going on. I knew you had all these producers doing it. I knew you had casting couches. Oh, this is going... Oh, my God, I'm surprised. I never heard about this. Bullshit. You're just trying to cover your ass now. So take your lectures and your gun control and shove it straight up your tight little asses. Next I want to go to is a gun control group is going after the NRA Carry Guard insurance. If you don't know what the Carry Guard insurance is, it's an insurance you could buy that helps cover your legal expense in the case that you do have to protect yourself and fire your firearm. That you get sued over it. You're paying insurance that pays for a lawyer. And I don't know what else comes along with it. I know there's other stuff. Now, they're going after the NRA carry gun insurance as murder insurance. And they're trying to attack the underwriters to abandon the coverage. Guns Down admits that the insurance is nothing new. The United States Concealed Carry Association has it in business much longer. But they claim to be targeting the NRA because its insurance is more comprehensive. According to the AP, the Guns Down advertising campaign cast a spotlight on the policies and asked the two insurance companies involved with Carry Guard, Lockton Affinity, which administers it, and Chubb, the underwriter, to drop it. And the Guns Down ad includes a video message from a Ms. Ms. Fulton, mother of Trayvon Martin. And I hate how they wrote this. An unarmed teen shot and killed in 2012 by a neighborhood watch volunteer, George Zimmerman. Listen, George Zimmerman was a piece of shit. I don't like George Zimmerman. That kid may have been unarmed, but the concrete slab that he was bashing George Zimmerman's head into, yeah, that was life-threatening. The kid was on top. The kid circled back. The kid jumped him. The kid thought he was a big badass, and the kid wound up on the wrong end. But scenes of racial division appear on the screen, and Fulton says they spend millions lobbying for laws that allow them to shoot first and stand their ground, but that just makes it easier to get away with murder. Yeah, it's better that George Zimmerman got murdered by your son. That you can, oh, my poor son, he never did anything wrong. He was so innocent. Maybe if he didn't jump him, went to his father, called the police like responsible people would do, and then turned the tables on Mr. Zimmerman for following. Stand your ground. He was not being aggressive. He did not attack. He was jumped by Trayvon Martin. He was beat to the ground. Trayvon Martin was on top, bashing Zimmerman's head into the concrete. Now, we all hear the liberal media going nuts about concussions. We can't touch the heads. Oh, bashing that guy's head into the concrete, that's nothing. That's a little, just throw a little mud on, he'll be okay. They had to make it racial. George Zimmerman wasn't even white. Two things need to be noted here. First, Zimmerman in the illusion of racism and a straw man argument which serves to incite anger that can be directed towards Carry Guard. Even though Carry Guard had nothing to do with Zimmerman or racism. Secondly, Zimmerman was tried of a jury of his peers and acquitted of charges of second-degree murder in July 2013. The following year, Barack Obama's DOJ announced there was no evidence to support bringing federal charges against him either. The shooting was done in self-defense. And that's the funny thing. They never even brought up stand your ground in that case. Stand your ground had nothing to do with it. That was a 100% self-defense. And those are two different cases in the state of Florida. You have self-defense and stand your ground. Stand your ground says if it's in your house or your car or a place you have the right to be in, you do not have to retreat if you are attacked. That was a self-defense. He got jumped and attacked, and he defended his life. Well, how do we know there was going to be life-threatening injuries? What do you do? Want to wait till Zimmerman's dead before he could defend himself? Dumbasses. The AP reports that Kerry Guard underwriter Chubb responded to requests for comment by saying it provides insurance for a wide range of risk. When customers are engaged in lawful activity, including hunting, shooting at a gun range, or when a firearm accidentally discharged, it notes that Kerry Guard includes training and safety courses. I'm a very big one on safety courses. Take the safety course. Now here's the big one. Chuck Schumer is urging his Democrat colleagues to avoid gun control as debate over the budget begins. Now, the debate passed the Senate tonight, 51-49. I was on C-SPAN for a little bit, and I saw that passed. But in other words, despite post-Vegas gun control push by members of his own party and relentless criticism of the GOP-led Congress' refusal to pass more gun laws, Schumer is asking his colleagues to tone it down. According to The Hill, Schumer is concerned about the outcome of 2018 election and what pushing gun control might do to Democrats who are up for re-election. I've said it here before, multiple times, I'll say it again. When they push for gun control, they lose elections. That's why he's telling them to shut up, because they're talking about putting bills on the floor. Murphy, Feinstein, a couple others said, we're going to put some bills on the floor. And these Republicans that, we're going to put some bills too. Yeah, we're going to put some bills to regulate. You'll lose election, asshole. For all the talk that there's all this support for gun control, if there was all this support for gun control, why aren't more pro-gun politicians elected? Why don't we elect more pro-gun? Because America doesn't want it. America does not want gun control. We like guns. We like protecting ourselves. And we like being able to stand up to the government if needed. Now, my father-in-law always said, well, you're going to stand up against tanks and rockets and all this. Yep. A small ragtag of people stood up against the greatest military force in 1776 and beat them. Ragtag group. We've had ISIS, a small group of men, kick the shit out of the United States for several years. It's not always the equipment. It's the personnel and your tactics. So as long as we are armed as a citizen, we keep our government in check. Doesn't mean I want to overthrow my government, but I want to make sure it doesn't want to overthrow me. With that, I'm going to say have a great night. Coming up next is BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Pull a chair up, have a drink. And remember, the speech is always free. Have a great night. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.